This is the KG Polytunnel, the one we use for a lot of our sowing and growing. We actually bought it from Premier Tunnels, and it's actually 25 foot by 10 foot. So it's decent size. You can do a lot in it, but you don't have to have anything this big. You can get an 8 by 6 foot, or if you want a really big one, you can get much bigger ones as well. They come unassembled, so you have to put it together yourself, but you don't have to be a DIY expert. I'm certainly not, to actually put one of these together, but you probably do need more than one person. It's very difficult if you try to do it on your own. 2 or 3 people is ideal. So basically what you do, you measure it out, you put your floor poles in or your ground poles in, and then you attach the hoops, which slot together. What you see here is a wind brace. You have to fit one of those. That actually keeps it very sturdy and strong in the wind. The polythene, you stretch over it. This is why you really need 2 people, and you need to get it really balanced right so that you're not got too much over at one side. At the base, you can actually buy base rails to pin the polythene down, or you can simply dig a trench, which is what I did, about 18 inches. You dig a trench all the way along, and then you fill it in, and that keeps the polythene stable and secure. It's very windy where we are, gale force at times, but you'll be surprised how strong these polytunnels are. They really do hold up well in the wind, because there's nothing for the wind to get hold of. What you also see is this anti-hotspot tape, and you put that on poles before you apply the polythene, and this is to really stop the wear and tear on the polythene, especially in windy days when the wind's blowing the polythene against the poles. So we wouldn't be without a polytunnel. You can do so much with it. It extends your growing season. You can sow earlier and harvest much later, and you can do obviously lots of crops that don't do well outside. So let's have a look at the front of the polytunnel now. The trickiest part of putting a polytunnel together is usually this bit here. So you have to actually put folds in. It requires a little bit of patience to do it right, making sure the folds are going downwards to actually stretch and nail the polythene in. The door, again, which you construct yourself. The instructions with these are really good actually, so quite easy to follow. But you can see that we've got netting in the top half of the door, which is really for ventilation, especially on hot days. It can get really hot in these tunnels, and obviously you can leave the door open, but a bit of netting helps as well. So let's have a look inside. This is February, and this is what it's looking like at the moment. So what we do often over the winter is we put some broad beans in, and there you can see the Sutton broad bean, which will be ready earlier than if you planted it outside. And of course the advantage is that it shields, the polytunnel shields everything from the wind. Very windy here. My broad beans get devastated if I put them outside, but in the polytunnel they grow beautifully. I've also got some brassicas here at the end, some spring cabbage, some broccoli, and some tatsoi. So over the winter, we've been growing these. I've got a couple of radish beds in there, and of course over the winter you can grow all kinds of lettuce, leaves, salad leaves. Obviously they slow down in the winter. This is an unheated polytunnel, but now it's February, it's warming up a little bit, and the salad leaves are coming on really strong, and there's some land cress there too. And of course, as you can see here, when it's cold and windy and rainy outside, you can come in and pot up and you're nice and sheltered. So you know, the benefits of a polytunnel are fantastic. Come May, June, this will be cleared and we'll have cucumbers, tomatoes, chilies, sweet peppers, salad leaves, all sorts of things going on. How you design the inside is up to you. The easiest one is just to have a couple of gravel boards, relatively cheap from the builder's merchant, and a path down the middle, and it gives you access to everything. So you know, much cheaper than greenhouses, and you know, if you're a little bit unhappy about how they look from the outside, you can plant lovely flowers all around them and make them look pretty. So, you know, we wouldn't be without one. They're fantastic advantage, you know, for growing all year round.